Hello everybody, Daniel here, bringing you a TF2 gameplay commentary, and I don't know what that guy was doing there either. Props to the spy for, hopping all the way up there. I know that's a really difficult climb. I actually have tried it before. But it is kind of pointless, because if someone does walk out of that door, you're just gonna get your face blown off. There's no workaround for it. You're going to die immediately. You're way too close proximity, and you've spent about 2 minutes of your life that you're not getting back trying to climb that. So don't do that. Don't be that guy. But yes, hello. For this commentary, I was actually trying something different. Now, I was actually using the Liberty Launcher as Soldier. Now, as you're probably all aware, the Liberty Launcher as Soldier, no one really uses it. The downside of losing that rocket for that slightly increased speed isn't exactly worth it all the time. This is a really underused rocket launcher. I'd actually say that even the rocket jumper and the cow mangler get more use than the Liberty Launcher. Because rocket jumper, we have so many trolgers these days, or market garden soldiers, and the cow mangler does actually receive a surprising amount of use for what it is. I actually like the cow mangler, so I can't really say anything against it. But anyway, yeah, using the Liberty Launcher, using the whole Airborne Armaments as Soldier, actually. I do have the Reserve Shooter and the Market Gardener equipped, because why not? If you're going for the Airborne Armaments, you might as well go with the whole thing. It's not that often I use any of these things. This is my most underused Soldier loadout, I'd say. I don't know why I have it as a tab for my Soldier loadouts, but it's there, so I thought I'd try it and just see why I may have even considered putting it there. Because, oh god, I do not use these things at all. Market Gardener, as you're probably well aware, it's near impossible to get those trick shovel stabs. And I have tried. I've gotten about a grand total of 4. I don't even have a strange, I just remember them because I was so proud of them. But then again, the guy who I got them on, he was kind of disconnecting a bit, lagging, and not moving, so that kind of worked against him. But I'm still proud of those kills all the same, because it's unbelievably difficult. And the Reserve Shooter, oh god. I'm more of a Bison person, or the battalion's backup, really, not so much the Reserve Shooter. I don't generally use the shotgun on Soldier as is. But yeah, actually, what I want to talk about here is the Liberty Launcher itself, because I actually had a lot of fun with it in this gameplay, and I did surprisingly well with it. Now, the first thing I should probably address is the reason why I don't use the Liberty Launcher, and why I think a lot of people do not use the Liberty Launcher. And the reason for that is not only the -1 rocket, which I've got no problem with, because as I said with my Black Box video before, I'm actually okay with that because it encourages you to conserve your rockets and have a bit more of an aim factor, rather than just kind of spam it. So I'm okay with that, I can work around it. The main problem I have with the Liberty Launcher, though, is actually the faster rocket speed. The problem with that I always find is I always overcompensate for my targets when they're moving, because I'm so used to the speed of the regular rocket launcher and how long it will take for the rocket to travel over to that spot on the ground, that when I actually use the Liberty Launcher, I shoot too far away from everybody. And I don't know if anybody else gets this, but I think that this is a huge problem with it. You can't exactly aim directly at them either, because it's no direct hit. They will just move out of the way. It's not that fast. But it's fast enough that just makes it very awkward, and you have to think a little differently while using it. And one thing that I found that was rather irritating after I finished using it was that I couldn't aim any of my shots with my regular rocket launcher after. So, oh god, it just does not really work that well. But if you are actually used to this rocket launcher, and this is something that Stuart actually uses this rocket launcher quite a lot. It's his preferred rocket launcher as Soldier. If you're used to it, then it is very effective, because you catch an awful lot of people off guard with it. It's no one really expects that faster rocket speed. As I said, people just expect the normal speed of rockets. It's either that or it's flat out the direct hit, to which they've got to be really careful. But they don't expect this kind of awkward middle ground with it. And you can really just catch a lot of people off guard and do a lot of damage with this rocket launcher as a result. And this happened an awful lot in this gameplay. People just really doubted the speed of the rockets themselves, and they just didn't move out of the way in time. They thought that they would be okay if they strafed a little bit further. It doesn't really work like that. You gotta do almost a trick jump or something. You have to really get out of the way of the Liberty Launcher. You should probably treat it as you do a direct hit Soldier, and just get out of there. You do not want to be in the line of fire of that. So yeah, it does catch people off guard like that, and as a result it is pretty fun to use. But again, the main problem is that you're just going to find yourself overcompensating for everything. And that is a huge flaw with the weapon itself. And it's reason enough that so many people do not use the thing. One thing I will definitely say about the Liberty Launcher though is that if you're one of the many people out there who doesn't really use the direct hit as soldier, just really can't land those body shots, then the Liberty Launcher is a great first step towards that. So it really does encourage you to aim at your targets properly and really just hit them, because you're going to find yourself overcompensating otherwise, so you just kind of need to aim a bit more directly at them and really just think about where they're going. And for learning the direct hit, that's a great first step, and it's a lot more forgiving as well, because you still have your splash damage. So that's why the direct hit is the direct hit. You've got no splash damage. Pretty much none anyway. You have a little bit, but it's like 20% of normal, which might as well be nothing, because you're not going to kill anything with the splash damage on this. With the Liberty Launcher though, you will. And against engineers as well, you actually find that this is very effective. It's as effective as, I'd probably say, a direct hit itself, if the engineer just cannot repair their sentry fast enough. One of the things that does let it down though there is the one less rocket in comparison to the direct hit, because you just can't keep launching that flurry of rockets. You've got to stop and reload, and if the engineer survives the first 3 rockets, they're probably going to survive the next 3 as well. You just don't have enough prowess to just really take it out. Another thing that I do have to say about the Liberty Launcher, which is just a bit disappointing, and there's a few of these in TF2 where it's almost like a disappointing weapon. Now, what do I mean by that? It's like one of those weapons where it doesn't really add anything new. It's just a slight variation of what's already out there. Like, if you compare the regular rocket launcher and the direct hit, they are hugely different. They play entirely differently. You've got to aim for body shots for one, the other you pretty much just aim at their feet, and it's your standard rocket launcher. The Liberty Launcher doesn't really just add a whole lot of new. Like, even compared to like the Cow Mangler and such, which is again another unique weapon. Like, I'd compare this pretty much to like the family business shotgun for heavy. It's just a slight variation, and it's not really that exciting. That's one thing that I really just don't I just lets me down with the Liberty Launcher. It's not that exciting of a weapon, and there's more fun alternatives out there. And for TF2, which is a crazy game about crazy weapons, and the hats, of course, you can't mention TF2 what it's about without the hats. But for a game that is all about experimentation and all of these wacky loadouts and crazy ideas that you can try out, it's just a bit disappointing to see the Liberty Launcher just being something that's a bit boring and mundane. But with everything said and done, I guess my final note is that you should definitely try out the Liberty Launcher and develop your own opinion on it. Because as I said, Stuart actually really likes this weapon. He finds it very handy, and he catches a lot of people off guard. He is more used to the trajectory of this than the other rocket launchers. So definitely try it out for yourself. So that's pretty much going to wrap this commentary, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, and thank you for watching.